All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You hear the voice of the PodBrother. That's how I gets down. I have with me Chris Pleasant, comedian extraordinaire, very, very funny dude. I always try to have like the coolest, most interesting people on my podcast as I can, and I was able to somehow track down Chris Pleasant in his busy schedule. Chris, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good.
Man, I'm glad you could be here. I'm glad you could make it. I am like ecstatic that you were able to wedge me into your schedule, my man.
Man, I wasn't doing shit. The thing is, you always got to tell people you're doing something.
Sure, that's the game. You just clipping your toenails,
right.
Just waiting for the.
I was sitting at home on the toilet, man. Shit, you caught me right at the right time, actually. Shit, I was about to run out and get some more toilet paper, but I was like, shit, since you live so close, I might well stop by.
And since I have toilet paper, you could drop a deuce. Or drop a one, because you already dropped half at your house.
Let me come on over there and finish.
Up. Drop a one here, drop a one there. That's a deuce for you, and I got toilet papers. That's what you call looking out for your comedy brother.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
Anytime you've been to a hotel and you take the toilet paper when you leave, like, they don't need this shit no more. Hell, let me take this with me.
Can I tell you every time, because that's one commodity.
You gotta take something, man. Right? I'm always taking towels from hotels. I'm like, shit, they don't need this towel. Shit.
Well, you'd be surprised how much that justifies your, what your lack of pay. For some reason, you feel like, okay, I got paid what I was worth now that I got these 2 rolls of toilet paper.
Right.
It's kind of like, all right, I got the last laugh.
I got to a point where I done stopped taking towels. I'm like stealing other stuff from hotels. I'm like, take this dresser.
Coffee pot.
I take the dresser. You gotta know how hard it is to carry a dresser out of a hotel. And then you get home and they open the dresser up and find out you got the Bible in there. You're like, oh shit, I done stole the dresser and the Bible.
You going straight to hell.
Oh, straight to hell. Let me take this dresser back. Now I gotta sneak the dresser back up into the hotel without nobody seeing.
You know what? This reminds me of a true story. We were talking about, you booked a room in Dallas, and I used to own the Laugh and Soap Comedy Club on the Queen Mary. True story. I had a couple that came in, saw my show, and they wanted to book me to fly up to Oregon and do a comedy show for their kids' graduation at this hotel. And unfortunately, I was already booked for another gig, and I could not do it. So I said, all right, I got a couple of comedians that I could send up in my stead, and I'll pick a couple guys that will do a good job for you. And I didn't know these guys really that well. I had just opened up the club, and I was there for a few weeks, so I didn't really know people. They were funny. So I booked them up there. They drove up. They did a really good show. But then one of them decides that they want to drink and smoke pot with the high school. Now these are high school kids.
Oh no, you can't do that.
Yeah, and this is a high school graduation. So, that's the first foul that they did.
But you know what? The high school kid is probably the one that had the pot.
Absolutely. But that's them, and that's their party, and it's their world,
right.
and that's their parents. Like, you stay out of that. That's like, that's their stuff.
Right.
So you stay clean of that.
Yeah.
But they decided to partake in that, and that didn't make a lot of the parents real happy. Number one, but then the hotel that the parents put them up in happened to be owned by the couple's best friend. So, who also had a kid who was at the party, and they were like best friends. So they said, okay, you pay for the comedians to come up, and we'll put them up in the hotel. We'll cover that.
Nice.
And then I think another parent covered like the airfare for them, or I don't know if they drove up or gas or whatever. But all the parents kind of pitched in, and they're pretty well off. I mean, these are some wealthy people. And so these knuckleheads decide that, and they got paid really well, and it was cash, because I told them, I said, just give them cash, because they're probably going to need to like live on it on the way home, gas or whatever, food.
Toilet
like
paper.
don't give them a check made out to me. Give them
Right.
cash.
Yeah.
And and everything will be Copa's cash. So they got paid cash by the client. I get a call, and I said they were like, "Yeah, hey Steve," and I go, "Well, how'd it go?" And they're like, "Well, the show was funny. They were really funny." And I'm like, "Okay, that's the good news. What's the bad news?" Well, they weren't real ethical and professional. They were smoking and drinking pot with the kids, and the kids are minors, and that wasn't cool. But they took the pillows and the blankets and the toaster and the coffee maker, and they took all this stuff out of the hotel, and it really pissed off my friends. They wanted to press charges.
Oh.
And I said, well, these are comics. Comics are used to taking toilet paper and a few towels and maybe some slippers and maybe a robe.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you just don't press charges, just have them bring all the stuff back, and we'll just like, because it's out of state too. So now it's like, I'm like, if you can just be cool. And they're like, yeah, okay. Well, we asked them to take all the stuff back. We took all the stuff for them. We just told them to just leave. I go, so you're not going to press charges or anything, right? And they're like, no, we're not. And they said, by the way, the hotel just opened. And they were the only ones in the hotel.
Oh, wow. That's
So they thought that they could scoop all this stuff up and kind of
Nobody
blend
would
in.
know.
Nobody would know. Or by the time somebody found out, it would be too late. By the time the maid writes it down, puts in the report, it gets to but the owner wanted to make sure that they had like a wonderful stay. So they put them in the best room at the hotel.
Wow.
And they gave them all the best stuff. And they had put a microwave and a toaster and a coffee pot, which isn't normally in the room. But because they were excited to try to make the comedians feel like, oh, okay, they get special amenities from Hollywood, they put all these fluffier pillows and they put the blanket, the big fluffy towels and the robes. And they just want to make it so that it was just like something cool for them. And
they're like, yeah, we feel real comfortable. We feel so comfortable. I'm going to stick this coffee pot in my pocket.
We got a coffee pot, got some of them pillows and them blankets and the towels. Don't forget the robe and the slippers.
Man, it's a couple things, okay, I could understand, but you can't
I
take
know.
the coffee pot.
Come on. They would have been happy to give you the slippers and the robe.
Right.
And even a couple rolls of toilet paper. But when you take the toaster, the blender, the microwave, and it's just like, come on, man.
Oh, man. That put you in a shitty situation,
Dude,
too. You're like, oh, man.
I was so embarrassed.
Let me ask you a question.
That put me in such a shitty position, man. It was ridiculous.
Were they black?
No.
Yes!
They both were white. They both were white.
I love it. I love it. No, I'm sorry.
And the thing is,
I love it, but
they didn't need any of that stuff. They got paid cash, and it's not like they're hurting here. It's not like, it's not like they, it's not like they're hurting.
Right.
They didn't need any of that stuff. I was so embarrassed. And the thing is, they were like, hey, when we get the hotel open, maybe we can open up a Laugh at Hope comedy club here, and you can come up and run it. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have me a club in Portland, Oregon, and I could send comedians up, or I could organize. I can go back and forth. Man, they killed all that. They killed that. They ruined that, man.
Well, I think all you would have to do is get somebody to sign a contract saying if anything came up missing, that they're going to hold them responsible. I think that there's little ways around that, but...
Yeah, but that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about running your own room and booking comedians. Like I want to be a comedian and make comedy, and I don't necessarily want to be tied down with the logistics of some other comic who ends up being a knucklehead and then burn, an opportunity for you. And I'm all about like working with comics and helping other comics in the brotherhood, but a lot of times there's some knuckleheads out there that just ruin it for everybody.
That's a wild story.
That's a wild story, man.
All of that just so happened.
Just so happened. And the thing is, they were the only ones in the hotel, and they didn't know it. Like, they didn't know. Like, you would think if you see no one in the lobby,
Right.
if you see no cars, like they literally, the paint on the walls were still wet and they hadn't cut the ribbon yet. They were going to cut the ribbon like in a day or two.
They was like, look, y'all stay in for the night, and we need y'all. Y'all gonna have to limbo under this ribbon.
Yeah.
Do limbo under this ribbon. Don't worry about the ribbon right now.
We'll play you some Caribbean music, and you can limbo. We won't make it too low. We'll make it easy for you to get under. And these knuckleheads, wasn't heads up enough to realize that they were the only ones in the hotel, and they couldn't blame it on anyone else. That's and hilarious. They couldn't blend in with the population of the other customers.
Right.
True story. But,
that's funny.
I have been guilty of snatching robes and towels and toilet paper and slippers. I got a pair of slippers in there right now. I just snatched from a hotel from a gig.
Oh yeah, little stuff like that. Hey, look at this. Let me tell you something. Black people cannot go anywhere ashy. We're not supposed to be ashy. That's rule number one when you go out in public. So when you spend a lot of time at hotels, you start doing stuff like taking this.
The lotions. That's that's autopilot.
Oh, and this is
fragrant.
And if you stay at a nice hotel, you can get some nice lotions. I know the people the people where I was staying, they was like, why does he keep these lotions? I was like, I'm rubbing it out. I make up a lie just so I can have more lotion. Like, he must really be rubbing it out up there.
He done gone through 3-4 bottles a day.
Right.
That's a lot of rubbing that comedian's doing.
I'm just collecting.
You're a collector.
Right.
So that you can have, like a memento from everywhere you've been, all 3 states in your mass tour. Oh, man. That's funny. So real quick, man, first time you were on stage, first time you got a laugh, and the first time you got paid.
First time I was on stage, elementary school. A quick little talent show that I did that I wasn't too happy about it. Second time I got on stage, it was actually it was a talent show that I did in college, and wasn't too happy about that either. And somebody actually told me, he said, if I find you a place to do a show, would you do it? And I had already been through enough trauma in these last 2 comedy shows, tragedy, not trauma, just tragedy. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And I did this. It was a comedy show. And can I say the name of the place?
Yeah, you can.
I shouldn't even get him it was Vickers Backdoor Comedy at the time, and you had to do like clean sets there, and it was like a 3-minute set that I was supposed to do, and it was around the '96 Olympics, so I said, okay, I'll do some Olympic stuff for 3 minutes, and it ended up being a pretty decent show, although I did have to sit in the parking lot and drink like 24 ounces of whatever beer it was. And I think I probably smoked maybe less than half of a joint.
You had to numb yourself.
I had to numb myself, man. I had been through so much. I was like, I can't go through this again.
This wasn't a comedy cherry you popped. This was just a comedy violation.
Yeah. So I did the gig, and people actually laughed, which surprised me at the time, because I had been through so much other, like the previous shows, it didn't turn out right. So it made me kind of stick with it. The first time I think I got paid was I did a show in Oklahoma City. It turned out to be... I flew to Oklahoma City, which it was really only a 30-minute drive from Dallas, but somehow I figured out a way to get on a plane.
Because you a baller now.
Yeah, I was balling. I was like,
making
okay.
Money.
And I think they paid me before I actually did the show.
Which is what you bought the plane ticket.
Right. So I went and I did this show, and the room sat like 500 people. It was outside, and there was only like 20 people there. I think I was supposed to do like 30 minutes. I only had really a comfortable 7. And then the rest,
and even that 7 was a stretch.
Right. And
stretch from 3.
The rest was just like mumbles. I had no idea what I was doing, and I know the people that paid me was like, "Who gave this motherfucker some money?" So I ended up, I did that, and I went home, and I thought about what I did to them people, and I said, man, maybe I should send them $10 back.
Yeah, not the whole thing, but
not
$10.
The whole thing.
It's the gesture. It's the gesture that counts. I gotta send them some. give you a rebate on this show because I feel bad.
Right.
Oh man.
But I mean, you know, let me tell you something, man. I've done a lot of free shows. I've done way more free shows than I have done paid gigs. And it's not because, I think it's more just because, you know, you get a chance to work out stuff. Everything you don't get paid for. I mean, but at this point in my life, I need to get paid.
Hey man, what's the most money you ever made in one show? Most money.
One show. Well, I don't. I said I don't want to get into that because if I start telling about how much I make, people are gonna be like, "We ain't paying that no more money there. We
done paid him too much already.
We paid it too much."
That first show, they still looking for you for that $500 back.
So yeah, but I've done a couple colleges that paid well. And I'm gonna tell you something. To do 20 to 30 minutes for the pay that we get is pretty decent. You know what I mean? Because you think about any job that you work, you do for 30 minutes, you're like, damn, that's...
Yeah, well, you know, if you're getting paid minimum wage, that's $5.
Right.
That's $5.
$5? Is that $5?
Yeah, because minimum wage is $10 an hour. So if you do 20 minutes... according to minimum wage standards, you would be making $5 per half hour, and 20 minutes falls under half hour. So any other job, 20 minutes worth of your time is only going to be worth $5 at a minimum wage. So, what you make for 20 minutes is pretty damn good.
Right. And so I mean, this is, the times that I've been paid, they've been okay. They've been pretty good. I have lost money though doing trips, doing shows that where you spend a lot of time traveling. You end up paying for a hotel. Have you ever stayed in a hotel that you didn't want to stay in? Like, has anybody ever booked you at a place where they put you in a hotel? You're like, oh shit, I'm not staying here. I'm not staying. I'll go find me somewhere else to stay, and I'll lose money.
This is no joke, dude. I got booked at this gig, okay, and they said you're gonna stay in the comedy condo, okay. The comedy condo was kind of a half-ass attic over a garage, which had raw beams in the ceiling. There was raccoon shit and pigeon feathers all over the place. There was like little piles of cracked, used squirrel nuts.
What'd you say, used squirrel nuts?
Used squirrel nuts is where a squirrel used to be, cracked the shit open and left the shells there and took the nut. And there's like, and here's the thing. They didn't have clean sheets and pillowcases ready for me. So it was that, the raw striped mattress with the raw striped pillow with no sheet.
You can see pee stains.
You see pee stains and slobber stains on the pillow. And I was just like, nah, man, I can't. No, I can't stay here. I'm sorry. I can't do this.
Yeah. So that's happened before.
Yeah, that has happened before. And it's, when you've been driving for hours and you're tired, you want to shower and you want to sleep. And, when you roll up to a place, you're so dejected and you feel so awful. You feel terrible. And the last thing you need, and it affects your show.
Is to go into your hotel room, open up the closet, and see a hooker in there. You're like, wait a minute, I didn't know hookers came with the room.
Or they got like, the chalk line that are still on the floor from the homicide that happened like 3 days ago. It's like, oh, this is painful. Yeah. But yes, I have stayed at some horrible, horrible places. But that one sticks out as probably being one of the worst. When they tell you we're going to put you up in the comedy condo, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah, you screwed right there. You never stay at the comedy condo.
The comedy condo is not a good place.
Because they have not updated that since they started calling it the comedy condo. It was cool for the first maybe year.
Not even. First month. Yeah. And there's trash because some comics go in.
First month, right. You're right.
And, especially if they like the comics I sent to Portland, Oregon, man, they'll strip out everything. The first month, all the towels. You got to go out and buy you towels. You got to buy you sheets, and it's like, nah.
Why am I taking a shower and drying off with toilet paper?
And it's my toilet paper I took from the Holiday Inn last night.
Right. That's funny.
It's not even their toilet paper. All right, my man. So what do you got planned? What's coming up for you in the future? What do you got going?
Well, my goal is to shoot a special in November, December. So I'm just kind of working my way around the cities and states, trying to work up into that gig. So right now I don't have anything scheduled. I just got back from Seattle, which was ended up being a pretty cool show. A couple shows, I did 3 shows in Seattle actually, and they ended up being all right. But they were at casinos. Whenever you're dealing with casinos, you're dealing with people that lose money, and
they're not the most positive audience.
No, not at all.
Right. That is brutal. I've done some casinos. I did a comedy stop at the Trop in Atlantic City, and you want to talk about some derelict, obsessive gamblers that have lost their left testicle because there's nothing else to lose. It's painful to do comedy for those folks.
They like, let me see you do some magic and put some money back in my pocket. Like, no, this is a stand-up comedy show. This is not a magic trick here.
Yeah, there's no miracles are going to happen at this show, buddy.
You might well sit down and drink your gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
Whatever the fuck you
That's
choose.
a tourist, man. Yeah. The real losers are back there like mainlining heroin. Because they not only did they lose the tuition, they actually lost the baby. I had the baby right here next to the slot machine.
That's funny. Oh. That is a casino. Oh my. I don't know if you gamble at all.
I don't actually. I figure I only have so much luck, and I don't want to waste it in the casino pulling a slot machine. Like when I play, it's just for fun with friends who want to go and play. And I tell you what, I play is roulette, and I play the colors, and that's it.
You just take that 50-50 chance.
I take that 50-50 chance, and I figure if I'm right 51% of the time, I can walk out of there at least a little bit of a winner or even. Yeah. And if I lose, it's a very small loss, because if you look at the average of what it lands on, it never varies any more than like 45% to 55% one way or the other. So if you lose, it's going to be very small losses. Yeah. Because it's always going to come back. It's not always going to be on black for 30 straight.
Yeah.
So you're right in that margin of like 5 to 10% loss win ratio. And I can have fun in there. I can have fun in that range.
Yeah. I gamble from time to time, but I have good luck at losing. I have really good luck at losing, and I'm like, man, I need to stop this shit. Because after you lose like a certain amount, you don't even want to spend like 99 cents on a cheeseburger.
Yeah, it is. When you lose big, it's hard to buy the smallest things.
You're like 99 cents. How much is the cheese? You're like, the cheese is an extra 35 cents.
You're itemizing. You're itemizing now.
Man,
Can you suck that squirt of mustard off? Because that's the extra 10 cents.
right. What y'all charging for these pickles on this damn thing? Shit.
So where can we reach you on the web? You got a website or your social media?
I do not have a website, but
you got Instagram, right?
You can follow me on Instagram at Pleasant Fields. It's my Instagram, and you can look me up on Facebook, Chris Pleasant.
What's your Instagram username?
Pleasant Fields.
Pleasant Fields.
PleasantFields.
Because some of us went to a public school and we can't spell.
Right.
So, well, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, bro. You have to come back. We have to do this again.
I'd like to.
I want to have you on my my comedy show too. I want to do a virtual comedy show with a link to tip, and if people like what you're doing, they can tip you. I want to do a show like that with you, my man.
Hey, let's get that done.
All right, let's do that. Any next shows coming up? We can tell people where you're going to be.
Where am I going to be? A lot of times when I'm out here in LA, it's just like I don't have anything booked out of town right now. But a lot of times when I'm in LA, sometimes I'll show up at maybe the Ice House and they'll throw me a spot just if I show up. I don't have anything coming up right now though.
Well, I when you have something, I want to come and see you.
Okay.
All right. So, whatever you're doing. And if you know of any, open mics or any guest spots, let me know. Maybe I'll roll with you. We can do some spots together. I'm cool with that too. So,
definitely.
Well, thanks a lot, man, for sharing the PodBrother Nation studios, because it's fun doing this by myself, but it's a lot more fun doing it when I got somebody cool and fun and funny with me, which I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule, because, it's very, very hard to get you with your time and all.
Look, man, I'm so happy to be out the house right now. Let me tell you, I wasn't doing shit. Actually, I know exactly what's going to happen when I go home. I'm going to go home. I have a 3-year-old at home, so I'm just going to go home and watch cartoons.
You got the terrible threes going. You got little boy, little girl? What do you got? Oh, okay. Yeah. So your hands is full.
Right.
Your hands going to be full for the next 22 years.
Oh, my God. I'm going to have to hurry up and get her married.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
No, I don't know if I want to do that.
Maybe she might be one of these, independent women who, just really don't need a man.
Shit.
Don't need shit. She can just get it on her own. Just do what she needs to.
And every dude in the world gonna think she's a. That bitch thinks she don't need shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's always some knuckleheads out there.
There's always, but she's a good kid though.
Well, she's got a good father. Happy Father's Day tomorrow too. What do you got planned?
I don't know. I got a feeling this is gonna be something that I don't want to do.
Well, you know what? Why don't you come to my Father's Day podcast tomorrow? Okay. All fathers get in for free, and since you're a father, you get it for free anyway because you in the club,
right?
But for those fathers that aren't in the club, you come down to the show tomorrow at noon at the Next Stage Theater on La Brea and Sunset. You get in for free, and all the Pod Sisters get in for free. Everybody else, you got to pay $20 unless you have a promo code or a code word to get in, or or if you're really good friends with me or you're really good friends with Chris, I might let you slide. And all you father
babies.
If you don't know what a father maybe is, that's somebody be like, hey man, I don't know I'm a father yet until Tuesday,
right?
When the Maury Purvis show bring out that maternity test.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and all you guys out there that's taking the maternity test to see if you're pregnant, good luck with that. I heard a dude, man, went to the drugstore, bought a maternity test, pissed on it, came up negative, like, whew, I'm off the hook, bro.
That's hilarious, man.
I thought I was going to be a dad, but look, I hear it. I'm clean. I'm good. Whew.
That's hilarious.
Only in America.
Only.
All right, brother. It was good to have you. If you want to see me, you go to podbrothernation.com, and that's everything PodBrother. And I'm doing the improv at the Ontario Improv in June 26th, which is Sunday. It's a 5 o'clock show. I'm opening for Justin Trance, who is the greatest hypnotist of all times, and that should be a lot of fun. 5 o'clock. I hope to see you at that show. That information should be on my website. And then tomorrow, Father's Day, come and see me. It's a $20 ticket, but, I'll hook you up if you got the right promo code. And I hope to see a few dads there because it is Father's Day, and we're going to do some Father's Day material. In the meantime, Chris, you be safe, my brother. And thanks for hanging out with the
Thanks
pod,
for having me.
All right. Peace, everybody. Be safe, and happy Father's Day.